Five, four, three, two, one. What's up, everybody? Here I am recording a podcast. Don't have the best history with that, but I've kind of been debating about whether or not to record this one. So I've tried to do podcasts in the past, but realistically, I was talking about topics that it wasn't easy for me to talk about for that long. It was things I was interested in, but it was really not interested in the point to where I could speak about it for such long periods of time. And I really didn't think about it before I started recording them, but I wanted to do this one because these topics are not like those previous topics that I had tried to do. This is a little different. See, I'm a rideshare driver and I have countless stories, experiences with passengers, the crazy ones, the funny ones, the weird ones, the shy ones, the outgoing ones, the angry ones, and everything in between. And everybody constantly asks me about my stories. And I have so many to share that I can never get through all of them, regardless of how long I speak to people, because I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and I have thousands upon thousands of rides under my belt. So I've encountered thousands of people, and out of those thousands of people, you have maybe a good 25% of them providing hilarious stories. Well, 25% is a little generous. Okay, so maybe like about 10 to 15% hilarious stories, and then another, we'll say the rest of that 10% providing just something to talk about. Others provide something to think about, but something that I can genuinely go on talking about for long durations of time, basically, is my point. And I've been debating about whether or not to start this because I knew my history with podcasts before. See, I tried to start 2 other podcasts, I believe it was, and that didn't really go well, right? But see, this is going to be different. This is going to be different because I just need to get these stories out there. And sometimes, I don't have people to fucking tell the stories to, but these are so crazy that I need people to hear them. And if anybody asks me about stories, any passengers, and I tell them some, and they're interested in finding out about more, I can just point them to the podcast. So here we are. And what got me to start this today was because for the first time in the thousands upon thousands of rides, I got called a racist. Well, not directly, but it was implied. And I couldn't fucking believe it. I could not believe it at all. It was so shocking to me because of the fact that of how because of basically how it happened and the way she told me, and it just didn't make sense at all. So here's what happened. So today I was driving, doing some rides. I took a break midday, then went out, started driving again. And I'm driving around, and periodically throughout the day I listen to some podcasts. I listen to some music. Music's not always the same genre. Music's not always something that I personally listen to. Some passengers request to hear something. I'll ask them, what's your favorite song? So I can start a radio station on Google Play Music, and we can listen to whatever music they like. It doesn't matter to me. I honestly don't care, because of the fact that even if it's something that I don't listen to, I don't mind listening to it, because of the fact that I'm in the car for so long that if I constantly just listen to what I wanted to listen to music-wise, I could only listen to that for such a period of time before it got annoying. So I'm cool with listening to whatever. And periodically throughout the day, I'll jump. If no passenger makes any requests, then I'll jump from maybe some chill indie music, maybe some classic rock, some upbeat pop, some like good hip hop or R&B. Nothing too drastic. No no music that should cause issues. Every single genre that I play is all literally from the happy section in Google Play Music. So in Google Play Music, if you're not familiar with it, there are different stations that you can play. And being that I drive for so long, I need to use one of their stations because I realistically couldn't create a playlist or enough playlists to take up the hours upon hours of time I'm going to be listening to this. So I jump on the stations. Now, what I've learned is that people, just obviously people aren't going to want to be happy. They're going to be wanting to listen to upbeat music, something that's going to bring some positivity in their life. Whether they're having a good day or whether they're having a bad day, people want to smile. So I go to the Google Play stations, and there's genre options, and there's also mood options. So you can pick a station based on your mood. Now, when I go to that, I go to mood, I choose happy, I go through happy section, and at the beginning of the day, and I'll see, okay, maybe I might want to listen to this. I might want to listen to this. I might want to listen to this. And I start about 3 or 4 stations, right? So I start 3 or 4 stations, and then I decide which station I want to listen to right then and there. Then later on in the day, what I end up doing is that I end up changing the station if I get tired of listening to a certain type of music. So like earlier today, I was listening to some chill music, like stuff like Izzy Marley and what's her name, Amy Winehouse and stuff. So it was just chilled, laid back music, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change it to some hip hop and R&B. Because I was in the mood for hip hop and R&B. Because personally, I listen to hip hop and R&B. But nothing like what I don't listen to anything in my personal listenings that I do in the car, because what I listen to personally, I know that a lot more people aren't gonna like it. But in the car, I'll play hip hop and R&B stuff like Chance the Rapper, stuff like Kanye. That's usually like Beyonce, Mariah Carey. Like that's the type of music that comes out on Feel Good Radio. But I mean, feel good hip hop and R&B. So the thing is that I personally like other stuff, like to listen to other stuff, but I can't listen to that because I understand that not everybody, likes that stuff. But being that hip hop and R&B have become so mainstream, it's almost like pop music, to where a song comes on and you can sing it. This type of songs that come on are just like Touch My Body by Mariah Carey or Sorry Miss Jackson by Outkast. It's like stuff that you can sing because they become so mainstream, so big. Now, having said all of this, this is the station that's playing in my car today. So I'm driving, I'm playing my music. Not my music, Google Plays music, but whatever. So I'm playing the songs. I'm playing the station, driving. Passengers like it. Passengers are nodding their heads, singing along, jamming out in the car. The usual. Well, at least it's usual for me. Like, a lot of passengers just like the music that ends up coming up. Then they ask me if it's my music, and depending on how I feel at the moment, I might say, yeah, it's my music. Yeah, I made this playlist. Like, if I really feel like they're really into it, then sometimes I'm not gonna lie. I do lie to them and say, yeah, I made this. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you have really good taste in music. And to a certain extent, I don't feel bad saying that, because of the fact that I've listened to so many countless hours to where almost a good amount of the stations that I listen to, the majority of the songs that end up getting played are songs that I've already thumbs up, I've already liked on Google Play, because I'm in the car for hours, so I can't help but end up liking songs. If I ended up being pulled over, waiting for a ride, or I'm waiting for a passenger, and after so many hours, it ends up accumulating, and eventually it becomes curated to your personal taste. So basically, that's what was happening. I had passengers that liked the music, passengers that were jamming out, dancing, and everything. I would say I had a good 4 or 5 passengers that liked the music before this one passenger gets in. So what happens is I pull up to this house, right? Not thinking anything. I just dropped off these passengers that were really liking the music. I think it was like a Chance the Rapper song or something. And then I come up and I pull up to the house, just like any other house, and I'm listening to the music. I'm liking the music. The music is good music. I'm listening to it. I'm jamming out myself. I have the volume just a little bit higher than what I normally do when passengers get in the car, because I lower it purposefully because of the fact that I want to be able to greet the passenger. I want to make sure that the passenger is getting into the appropriate vehicle. So the door opens. I don't realize it because I get there. She's not ready. I'm like, okay, there's a 5-minute timer. I'm going to wait 5 minutes. After about the first minute and change, I'm like, okay, well, she's not going to come out right now. So I raise the volume just a little bit, and I'm jamming out to the music, I'm bobbing my head. I'm singing a little bit, And then all of a sudden, right before the timer finishes, she decides to get in the car. It freaking surprises the shit out of me because I did not see her. And she gets in, because I was busy jamming out the music. I was pulled over safely and legally, just to be clear. And she gets in the car, and I greet her like normally. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Is this ride for, I forget her fucking name. But yeah, she gets in the car and she's like, okay, yeah. I'm like, oh, are you ready? And she's like, oh yeah, well, thank you for waiting. I'm like, oh, no problem. Just being kind and courteous, because that's the fucking thing I do. We start driving, right? We're literally in the middle of the song when she gets in the car, or like towards the end of the song. Start driving, another song starts playing. I forget what fucking songs they were. I think the first one that I was jamming out to was like a Big Sean song, and then the next one was some other song. But they were basically songs talking about like partying, having a good time, nothing bad, nothing crazy. I pull into the parking lot. He's dropping her off at a Buffalo Wild Wings. I pull up to the Buffalo Wild Wings. Granted, she's quiet this whole time. I'm like, okay. And she's sitting right behind me. So I can't even see if she's making a face or if she's doing anything. So I don't know. And then I pull up to the Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, all right, well, you go ahead and have yourself a good night. Like normally. And she's like, okay, well, I want to ask you something. And I'm just like, yeah, go ahead. And she's like, who told you that it was okay to play hip hop for black people? Who told you that black people would like that? I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm completely stunned by this because of the fact that it's just random out of nowhere. I'm literally singing in my head the song that's going on at the moment, and then she says that, and it kind of throws me off. And not only does it throw me off because it was so random, but it throws me off because of the fact that I've had people in the past fuck with me before. And like a good example is that recently I had an executive that was in the music industry, and I was taking him to a Def Jam party, which I actually saw Kaz. Dude was freaking decked out with a bunch of jewelry. Anyway, that's not the point. Dude gets in the car, and I'm playing hip hop, and I think the same station actually. And he gets in the car, and he's just like, "Oh, so you're just gonna play African music because you see me?" And I'm just like, "Oh shit!" Like, cause he sounded so he sounded way more serious than the girl was today, and he sounded way more pissed off than the girl was today. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, would you like to listen to something else? And then he was like, nah, dude, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just like, oh, dude, you scared the shit out of me, man. And then so having that in mind, and that's not the first time that's happened. And so having all that in mind, I'm thinking this girl must be fucking with me, right? Is this girl fucking with me? I can't tell. I really, really can't tell. But then she continues with it, and she's like, "Who told you that it was okay to play hip hop? Who told you that that black people like hip hop? That just because I'm black, that you have to play hip hop?" And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, bitch, I was playing this shit before you got into the car. I'm like, if you don't remember, I had to lower the volume in order to say hi to you when you got in the car. I would understand that if she had gotten in the car, I had turned around and seen her, and I was like, oh, let me play something else. And then I would have changed the station. And then I would understand if she misinterpreted that for, oh yeah, whatever. But I didn't. I was already playing the station. So for her to say that, it's just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous, but that's not it. So I'm just like, excuse me? I'm still shocked at this point. I'm just like, what? Excuse, what do you mean? I'm sorry, what do you mean? And she's just like, well, just because I'm black doesn't mean I like hip hop, and the music that you're playing is offensive. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? They're talking about having a good time, and they're talking about enjoying their night and living life to its fullest. I'm like, what? It's not like this music's talking about fucking bitches and hoes and all this stereotypical hip hop ideology that you would think about. No, they're talking about living their life to the fullest. That's it. And she says, oh, well, the music was extremely offensive, and just because I'm black, you're gonna think I like hip hop. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, the world doesn't revolve around you, chick. I'm like, dude, everybody else tonight has liked the fucking music, and 75% of them were black. So what the fuck? How the fuck does this thought get into your head that I purposefully played the music? I'm like, I couldn't fucking see you walk into the car. 2, you don't even have a profile picture as a passenger. So I can't tell what ethnicity you are. And 3, it's like, what the only way I guess you could fucking think that I could possibly assume that she was black was by her name, but I fucking can't. You know why? Because I get people from different walks of life, and I get a bunch of names that I can't fucking pronounce. And they're all different ethnicities. So what the fuck? How the fuck would I know that you're black? How? No way would I know. It makes no fucking sense. But she continues. She's like, oh, yeah, just because I'm black, you're just going to be playing hip hop. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry that you were offended. I would have wished that you had spoken up sooner and you had said something. That way we could play something that you would have preferred to listen to. But as far as the music choice, other passengers like this. And other passengers actually compliment me on this. So I'm sorry you're offended. I truly am. But as far as the whole situation, I really would have wished that you would have had said something sooner. That way you wouldn't have felt uncomfortable in the ride. And she's like, yeah, okay, well, I don't know. Like she's, and part of me feels like she was fucking like secretly recording me, and I just didn't see. I have the dash cam footage. I'll look back at it in a little bit after this, but I just wanted to fucking just talk this shit out because Oh my god, I could not fucking believe that happened. I could not believe it. It was so fucking weird to me. I was just like, this does not make sense. This does not make sense whatsoever. But it fucking happened. And it's so I'm still shocked that it happened because I'm just thinking, I'm like, dude, I play, this is one of the main stations that I go back to. One of the main stations. And not only black people fucking like it, like black being fucking Haitian American, Jamaican American, African American, like actual African American people that fucking come from Africa, immigrated, like first generation African Americans. And but Hispanic people like it, Middle Eastern people like it, white people like it, Asian people like it. Everybody fucking likes it. So what the fuck is wrong with you, chick? Like, you're insane. You are literally insane. The station is called Feel Good Hip Hop and R&B. Now, if you don't like hip hop and R&B, I understand that. But open your mouth prior to, and also don't assume that I played music just because you're black. I'm like, I was jamming out to this beforehand. This is the type of music that I personally listen to. I don't care who you are. I don't. I really fucking don't. I get different people all the time. And so what the fuck? How the fuck does that thought cross your damn mind? And even if it did, how do you have the balls to fucking come out and say that shit at the very end when you didn't have the balls to open up your fucking mouth beforehand? And I say balls, just fucking whatever. Shit. You know what I fucking mean. But how do you not fucking say that beforehand? How do you not open your fucking mouth beforehand and say, you know what, excuse me, I don't really like this music. Is it okay if we listen to something else? And that happens sometimes. That genuinely happens. And I'm okay with it. I am completely 100% okay with it. Because people say that about pop music. People say that about hip hop. People say that about R&B. People say that about classic rock. People say that about indie music. There's a lot of people that don't like a certain genre. And they hate it. And if you're listening to it when they get in the car, they'll say something. And they'll say, excuse me, is it okay if we listen to something else? And I say, yeah. Do you have any preferences on what we listen to? Because we can listen to whatever you'd like. We could actually make a station right now for you personally. And I do. And they get to listen to what they like. Whether it's a 5-minute ride or a 2-hour ride. It does not matter. The people get to listen to what they want. It's so it just does. I really, oh my gosh, I just can't believe this happened. It did. And I mean, I guess it was bound to happen because everything fucking happens, and I shouldn't be surprised because shocking things happen consistently doing this because you just meet the fucking weirdest people. But man, some people are really in their own world so much that they think this whole universe revolves around them, and that whatever thoughts they had beforehand are just going with them. And I understand being Hispanic myself, being Mexican American, I don't fucking know. Whatever. Having a Mexican ancestry, basically, I understand some shit happens sometimes. You know, there are people that are fucking assholes. I meet them, unfortunately. I meet them sometimes. And some people are fucking assholes. Some people are ignorant. But that doesn't mean everybody is. That doesn't mean you go into every situation thinking, oh, this person must be ignorant. This person must be doing this because I'm this and I'm that. Granted, you should know how the world perceives you. Being that I'm over 6 feet tall, I can come off as intimidating sometimes to some smaller people, like smaller females. So I make sure to do things in order to make sure, make people feel comfortable. which is normal. I understand that. But I don't automatically assume that people are doing things because I'm of a certain race. Of, fucking, or because I look a certain way. No. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And I personally understand that, this something might just be happening just because. The whole world doesn't revolve around me. We are not in my movie right now. Like, fucking, I love the Chris D'Elia joke on his fucking special, Man on Fire. You're not the star of the movie. Everybody thinks they are, but they're not. You're the fucking, you're the extra, basically. Granted, I'm butchering this, and don't think that Chris D'Elia's comedy is as shitty as I'm explaining it right now. I do recommend you go watch that Man on Fire on Netflix. Great fucking comedy special. But holy shit, man! I don't understand how you can go into the situation and just completely say that. It makes no fucking sense. Okay, it makes no sense. Whew. Shit. Damn. But I'm still shocked it happened. And there's gonna be a story that I'll be telling people. Or I might even just point them to this episode 1 of this fucking podcast. But man, some people are just they're just insane. Man, they just think that everything is about them, and they just think that they're the special fucking person that's just gonna get fucking attacked or get attacked either physically or fucking mentally or fucking whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. People seriously think that. Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy. I mean, the only other thing, not the only other thing. Oh, I mean, there's so many times where people are they shock me like this, but one of the funny ones is when people it's just coming to my mind right now, is just when people think that they're getting kidnapped and they're in the car. Like, it's just it makes no sense. So another example of how people just think that the world is revolving around them is when they think, holy shit, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be like the girl from Taken, but I don't have anybody in my life that can go kill people with all this shit. Now, Liam Neeson reference right now, probably not a good idea, but anyway. Oh my gosh, people get in the car and they seriously, some people think that they're getting kidnapped because what typically happens is that people, once people learn a route that they like to take to work, a route they like to take home, a certain route that they just naturally always take when they're driving themselves, right? Or when they're navigating people. Google doesn't take that into consideration, because all Google wants to do is get you where you need to be at the fastest, the fastest way possible. Now, your route might take 5 minutes longer, but you don't know that because you don't look it up. Because all you do is you go by the one route that you always remember. But Google doesn't. Google literally has so many algorithms calculating all at once, all this stuff to basically find out when we can get to the destination the fastest. Right? But people see you turn on a street that they're not used to. They immediately start looking at the navigation, and they start looking at their phone, and then they start looking at their navigation, and then they look at their phone, and then they're just like, oh shit. And fucking people, they jump on their navigation and they'll type in their address and they'll fucking navigate it. And I know this is happening because of the fact that I hear the navigation go off and it says, make a left turn here, right when I'm making the fucking left turn. Oh my gosh. It's just, it's so crazy to me. I just, oh my gosh, I don't understand it. I don't understand people sometimes. Oh my gosh, it's so funny, man. People are hilarious, and man, people they just they just think that like somebody is just out to get them. And I understand you got to be safe. You got to think about yourself. Like the other situation that happened today, you got to think. You got to be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stand up for myself. If somebody's being fucked up to me because of the fact that I have a certain ancestry, right? Because I look a certain way. I understand that. Or if you're like, okay, I need to be a little extra cautious because possibly because you're a very petite woman and you need to be cautious of a lot of dangers. I understand that to a certain extent, right? To a certain extent. When it gets past the point of just common sense, what I would assume to be common sense, it is ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. Now, what I mean by that is that, all right, so there's some passengers that don't pay attention. So you have the passengers that they immediately think that a car's arriving for them. They'll jump into the car, not even looking at it, not looking at their phone, not looking at whatever. They get into the car and they just think like, okay, I'm just gonna go. And you have to say, you know what, hey, is this for so and so? And they say, oh no, I'm sorry, this isn't a blah 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 fucking car. I'm like, no, it's not. Get the fuck out. I don't tell them to get the fuck out. I just tell them, no, I'm sorry. So they get out of the car, right? But then there are other people that they look at their phone, they look at your car, they look at their phone, they walk around your car. They look at their phone, they look at your car, they look at their phone, they walk around the car again. They fucking continue to do this. All the while, you're waving at them. And it's so fucking so weird sometimes to me because of the fact that, okay, so when you get a ride, drivers are pre-screened, right? Passengers aren't. So the passengers, many passengers only have a name. So we don't see a picture. So we have no idea who the fuck we're picking up, what the fuck they are, as in what gender they are, what ethnicity they are. We fucking no idea. But we pick you up, right? What a passenger sees. You see the vehicle make and model. You see the driver's picture, a clear picture showing from the shoulders up with no hats, no sunglasses, nothing. A clear picture. And then on top of that, if the vehicle make, model, and color of the vehicle, along with the picture of what the vehicle should look like, and a picture of the driver is all not enough, you have the license plate number as well. And on top of all of that, you have the GPS location of the driver. So it's just ridiculous to me when people look at their phone, they see, okay, this is a car that's picking me up. Okay, it's this make, model, and color. It has this license plate. And that's the driver. Now I get it. Sometimes, in my picture, I'm not wearing a hat. And sometimes I'm wearing a hat. And I guess to some people that can throw them off. And I understand that. Okay, so you can't go by the driver picture all the time because maybe their hair was done a certain way and their hair's done a different way now. I don't fucking know. Maybe they have facial hair now and they didn't. Granted, I look the fucking same. The only difference there would be is if I'm wearing a hat or not. Or a beanie. But I give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. Another benefit of the doubt that I give them is the make, model, color of the vehicle. Because of the fact that, okay, I see there. Sometimes I pull up and there's another car that looks exactly like mine, exactly same make, model as mine. So I understand. Sometimes you gotta double check. But when you have the license plate number and you have the GPS location, I do not understand how the hell you don't immediately know that that is your car. Like, what do you think? Like, somebody thought you were special enough to kidnap that they hacked into the Lyft system in order to get their fucking car into their system, in their picture, into their system, in order to secretly fucking kidnap you? Or do you think that they fucking hacked into Lyft system to find out what your make, model, and color of the car that you had, to get a fucking driver that looks similar to your driver, and just to fucking make a license plate that's identical to the license plate that you're supposed to have? Like, what the fuck do you think? Like, you're not that special. You're not. You really aren't. Like, it fucking doesn't. Oh my gosh. Now, I understand. I also understand to a certain extent when passengers are in the car and they do double check the navigation, because some drivers are douchebags. I've had some drivers that just either take a long route or they fucking miss a turn or something, and it's just like, what the fuck? And so understand that to a certain extent, but it's just when it comes to certain things, it's so fucking shocking to me. It's just people think that they're so fucking special in order to get discriminated against, or to get attacked, or to get kidnapped. A lot of people, I look at them just like, you're not pretty enough to get kidnapped. Okay, maybe that's fucked up, but realistically, it's just like, dude, like, I'm working. You're gonna be one out of the fucking 15 to 30 people that I'm fucking picking up today. No, I don't want to kidnap you. That's too much work. That's too much work, and for what? What the fuck am I gonna do then? No, then I fucking no longer can work. What? Fuck you. I got a dog to feed, bitch. I got rent to pay. Fuck you. What the fuck? It makes no fucking sense. Oh, man. Now I know people are going to be listening to this and be like, oh, no, David, but you don't know. You don't know. You don't know how to be a girl. You don't know. Alright, so I don't understand. But I know to a certain extent what it is like to be small and fear being attacked. The only way I can relate that is when I was a kid, right? Dealing with bad circumstances, right? I can understand that. So I understand certain precautions and certain things that you gotta do. But you know what? When you get a ride on a rideshare platform, you're probably super fucking safe. You're so much safer than we are as drivers. Do you know why? As a driver, we don't have guarantee that passengers are clear. Anybody can download an app. Anybody can download and use the app. anybody can get a ride. People don't even have to put their real name or their picture. If they wanted to, they can get a prepaid card and just pay for the ride, and it's just some burner card. They use the platform. Nothing happens. No, nothing happens. Nothing happens. But for fucking you guys have screened drivers. Now there's a debate on whether or not some of the screenings are perfect on certain platforms, but they usually fucking. I feel like that's old wives' tale, but anyway. Yeah. You guys have screen drivers. We don't have screen passengers. We're the ones that are really in danger. We get these random fucking people, and then what? We have to be in this small, confined space with them. These strangers. As they're sitting behind us. A place where we cannot see. While we have to consciously look at the road. I can't fucking look at you. I can't keep my eyes on you. You can fucking look at me the whole fucking ride to make sure I'm not doing anything suspicious. To make sure I'm not pulling out a weapon. To make sure I'm not doing something crazy. And you know what's another thing? Is that the whole time you can have your app open. And you know what's on the app? It's an emergency button. There's an emergency button that's been implemented in your rideshare apps. Whatever rideshare app you use. There's an emergency button that instantly locks your GPS location, calls authorities, and lets them know, you're in danger. Oh shit. But you know what we have to do? We have to pull over and press that fucking button. And in that time, we'll be getting attacked and all this fucking crazy shit, man. So it's like, I understand people's concerns to a certain extent. It's really, because it's like people they don't think these things out. They really don't. They just have this one narrative in their head. Maybe they heard a story. Maybe, unfortunately, maybe they experienced something bad themselves. Or maybe they had a loved one that experienced something bad. So now they have this fear in their mind that something's going to happen to them. And I get that. I really do. I understand. But there's a point when common sense starts to kick in. There's a point where it's just like, okay, like earlier today, common sense. He's playing the music really loud. Looks like he's jamming out, liking it. I get in the car. He lowers it to say hi to me. And then we go. And it's not like it was at the beginning of the song. It's not like it was in the middle of the song. It was like at the end of the song. Common sense. He was already listening to this music prior to me getting into the car. He probably likes this music because he was jamming out to it. He's not playing this music because I'm black. I might not like this music, but he's not playing this music because I'm black. Common sense. Common sense if you're fearful of getting kidnapped. You know that somebody's not going to hack the system. You know somebody's not going to be able to get a car that looks exactly like the car that you need to get picked up in, get a license plate, and get a driver that looks exactly like the fucking driver that's supposed to pick you up. Common sense. Within fucking 5 minutes that they're supposed to drive to go pick you up. They're not going to be able to do all that, girl. Or guy. Whatever. Because some guys do it too. I fucking can't believe it when guys do it. And some guys do it, but whatever. Whatever. But yeah, it's just like, dude, there's a point when common sense kicks in. Even if you get in the car and you're like, oh shit, I don't recognize this area. I don't recognize the streets that we're driving through. Common sense. Okay. You go on Lyft app. You know what it shows on Lyft app as well? It shows your current ride, where you're going, and where your destination is. Did you know that? It has the route highlighted. A route that, well, the highlighted route is before traffic's calculated, typically. So you can generally see if you're going in the appropriate direction. You're going in the appropriate direction. Or if you're headed somewhere else. Not only that, is that common sense. You can keep an eye on the driver the whole time. You can have the emergency button unlocked right there for you. With one little touch, you're safe. Or at least as safe as you can be. Another thing, common sense. If you're so afraid of getting kidnapped, get in the backseat of the car, open the door again, make sure that shit ain't have child locks, and then tuck and roll, bitch. If you're getting kidnapped, tuck and roll, motherfucker. What the fuck? Shit, you get kidnapped, you don't know what the fuck gonna happen to you. You fucking open that shit door and you fucking tuck and roll. You tuck and roll. Shit, man. Oh my gosh. It's just people don't have common sense. It just doesn't. I don't fucking understand it. It's so fucking crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. But I mean, that's kind of part of the job. Part of the job is meeting people from different walks of life, meeting people, different experiences. You know, that's fucking part of the deal. Another part of the deal is fucking because passengers aren't fucking screened. You get a lot of crazy people in the car, dude. You get a lot of fucking crazy people in the car, and they're crazy that you can tell from a mile away, and there's the crazy that you start talking to them, you're like, oh, you nuts. Oh, I'm so sorry for people that are listening. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm so sorry. I really fucking am. I don't mean to fucking blow out your fucking ears while I'm talking and shit. It's just so fucking funny to me because, man, I really wish I could just fucking release a bunch of video footage of crazy passengers or something legally without getting sued for fucking defamation of character or whatever the fuck it is. Or basically have any legal issues. It's just oh my gosh. But I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm making this podcast, right? To talk about all the crazy people that get in the car, like fucking crazy, weird, funny, everything, man. It's just so many different people, but it's cool though. It's cool, honestly. I like it. I honestly like it. You know, the worst part of the job is the pay. It really is. Because for what you have to deal with, it's not worth the money. It really isn't. If you kind of need a really flexible job, you have a lot of patience, then go for it. Go do it. But realistically, if you can get something that pays the same amount or more, go do that. Go do that. Fuck. It's just like you don't need to deal with the shit that we deal with. Man, you don't need to. But fuck, for myself personally, I like having these stories. I like getting these stories because it's just so. A lot of times these stories happen, and then okay, so like a fraction of them are actually hilarious in the moment, and I'll be laughing, like crying, laughing. And there are other ones like today where it's just like I'm so shocked, and I don't really understand what's going on. But then later on, when I think back at them, I just start to laugh because I'm just like, oh my god, this person was so stupid. This is fucking. It doesn't make sense. This person's so stupid. What the fuck? Oh my gosh, jeez. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. I love driving around, meeting the people. Now, to be fair, there are people that don't provide stories in the way others provide stories. There's some passengers like the one today where it was just like, okay, people, you can just fucking think before you say something. Think before you do something. Just think a little bit. Just think about it. And there are people that make you think. People that say things. People that talk to you. People that share their own stories. People that help you just feel better in the day. You know, because sometimes as a driver, you know, just like any other customer service job, you gotta look happy, be smiley, fucking just be joyous, basically, when you're talking to people, because you want them to have a positive experience. If you're a good employee, if you want fucking your passengers or your customers or whatever the fuck to have a good experience, you gotta be joyous, right? But just like anybody else, you know, some days aren't fucking good days. Some days you aren't feeling good. Some days you're not happy, you know, and that's okay. That really is okay. Every day is not meant to be happy. Every day is not meant to be happy, but there are days where you're not happy and somebody gets in the car and they make you happy. It's weird. It's weird when it happens because not everybody is gonna help the way that would be appropriate to help. Not appropriate. Appropriate is a fucking bad word. This word doesn't make sense. What the shit? I just shut up. Anyway, well, fuck, I can't shut up because this is a podcast. Anyway, whatever. My point is that. Hold on, my fucking dog's being weird. Chanel, get over here. Get over here. Shit. Sorry about that. So there are people that are just they're just really positive people. And what the hell are you doing, Chanel? Get over here, mamas. Come on. Stop being a fucking weirdo. Stop scratching your ear, dum-dum. Gotta put some ointment on you. Sorry, my dog. She gets dry ears and then she starts scratching. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there are people that make you happy. They just do. They're really, really positive people, and I don't do well with positive people, like overly positive people. Extremes fuck me up, right? So extremely positive people, I don't fuck with. Extremely negative people, I don't fuck with. Extreme anything, I don't fuck with. I like people that are fucking balanced. Balanced people, I fuck with. Because they're the people that are just super. They just project themselves to be super happy all the time, and they don't act like they have any other emotion, and that's super creepy. That's super creepy. Because everybody has other emotions, bro. Everybody. But yeah, there are those people that are positive in a good way. Positive but balanced individuals. And some people notice it in you. Some people say, like, they ask the right questions. They say the right things. Now, what are the right questions? What are the right things to say? I don't know. It varies day to day. But when you know people, not know people personally, but you know how to talk to people, you generally can read a situation and you can say the right thing. There are people that have more than common sense. They have fucking good knowledge on how to deal with people. So not every passenger is a fucking idiot. not every passenger is a dumbass. You do have really smart passengers, really cool passengers. Now, sharing all this, I don't want everybody to take away from this that every single passenger is going to provide something to you. You know, every passenger, you don't talk to every passenger. You know why? Because not everybody wants to talk. Fucking, there are people that get in the car that just want to get in the car and get to their destination, and they want you to be quiet the whole time because they don't want to talk to you because they don't feel like talking. And you know what? That's okay with me. That's completely okay. I'm not going to fucking pester you to try to have a conversation with you so you can entertain me because it's not my right. I'm not paying for it. You're paying for it. And it's going into my pocket. So if you want me to be quiet the whole ride, we can listen to music. We can listen to podcasts. We can not listen to anything if you don't want. Maybe you're having a bad day. You get in the car. You just got fired. You don't want to listen to music because it's going to make you emotional. You're holding in all your emotions. You're aggressive as fuck. You don't want anything to spark you, anything to get you to think about something. Maybe you weren't fucking fired. Maybe you just got dumped. You know, you just have this whole tornado of emotions just swirling inside you, and you don't want anything to set it off. So you just need silence. If you had the option, you would be home in your room by yourself in silence just to think. Okay. We can make a quiet environment for you in the vehicle if you choose. That's fine. I'm completely okay with that. I can entertain myself in my own head. I mean, honestly, it makes driving easier. You really have no distractions at all. That's why when people are learning to drive, they don't turn on the radio. So I'm completely okay with that. I just pretend that I'm doing that. Well, I don't really pretend. I honestly usually just think about shit. But yeah. So there are passengers that they just want silence. Or maybe they just want to listen to the music. Maybe they really are into certain music. Whether it's their own personal music, because they asked to play their music off of their phone, or it's music that they requested that I could play off Google Play, or it's the stations that I'm currently listening to. There are people that get in the car and they're driving, and a lot of times they're with other people when this happens, but they're with other people and they're talking. They're like, "Oh my gosh, he's such a great driver. He hasn't said one word this whole time." I'm just like, I'm listening to this. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, okay. So yeah, I mean, not everybody wants to talk. It's not an obligation. If you get into my car, if you order a rideshare, and it's not an obligation. Like, the people are living their fucking life. If you're female, you get in my car, you're not gonna get hit on. If you're fucking, obviously, if you're a male, you're not gonna get hit on either. But if you're anybody getting into my car and you don't want to talk, I won't talk. If you get in my car, you do want to talk, you know, I will talk. If you're not an idiot. All right, let me explain that. Let's unpack that one. All right, so what I mean by that is that there's some people get in the car and they have the worst small talk. And I feel like I have a social obligation to not encourage that small talk. Now they could take away from that I'm just an asshole and I have short responses to small talk, to their small talk, and they're just gonna fucking keep running that bullshit at small talk, and people are gonna keep fucking reinforcing that bad behavior. But I think about it like I honestly treat people how I treat my dog. In that if there's behavior that she's doing that I don't like, I don't encourage it. I don't say, hey, you're doing a good job. I don't I don't fucking play into it. I don't. So I encourage behavior that I do like. So if you're gonna get in the car and say some stupid shit that's not followed up by anything because you had one small talk, one small talk statement that you said that you don't know how to follow up with because you think that I'm gonna carry the conversation for you. If I'm in a talking mood that day, maybe I'll do you a favor and I'll see how good you are at having a conversation. And then I'll drop it if you really aren't keeping up and you're just trying to talk just because some people get in the car and they're just uncomfortable and they feel like they need to talk to you. So it's like, I don't. Sometimes I'll just keep a conversation going for. I basically just play it by ear. Let's just basically see how it goes. But yeah, there are passengers that are like, they'll get in the car and they'll say, "Oh." All small talk goes the same. They get in the car and they're just like, "Hey." So the first thing I say when they get in the car, I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, fine. I'm doing good. How are you doing today?" I'm just like, "I'm doing all right myself. Thank you for asking." Then they put on their seatbelt. We start driving. Not even fucking 3 minutes later, they're like, "So how are you doing today?" Like, I fucking just answered you. Did you not just answer me? I'm like, am I supposed to ask you again? How you doing? Or what would I say? What would I say now? Do I say I'm still doing all right? I'm still doing good. I'm fucking what the fuck? Like, it's, oh my gosh. And then there's the follow up. So, you just starting or you're ending your day? Really? Really? You gonna say it? Really? You think you really think that's an original question? You don't think that I hear that 10 times a day? You don't think that every driver out there hears that fucking at least 10 times a day? No. Because I know these type of people. These people are the people that fucking ask it to everybody. And I feel like I genuinely feel like I have a social responsibility to not encourage that behavior. I treat people like I treat my dog. I don't encourage behavior. I don't encourage that behavior. No. I don't like it. I don't think other drivers like it. Well, okay, so I don't know if other drivers like it or not, but I don't want to encourage this behavior because I feel like if people talking, they'll be like, "Oh, I never know what to say to my rideshare driver," and be like, "Just ask them if they're beginning or they're ending their day. That's what I do every single time I get into the car." No, I want them to be like, "Well, I fucked up the other day and I asked him whether he was beginning or ending your day." Dude, that's not the worst part. The one that genuinely gets to me is when they say, so you make good money doing this?" I'm like, "Bitch, that's my fucking business. I don't need to tell you." Now, fucking because I answer everything, I say the same thing to everybody. Came up with this general response because it gets said so fucking much. I say, well, it's like any other service job. We rely on the generosity of others, which is true, and I'll get back into a little bit, but they seriously say that. And it surprises me because really, if you're not a relative or a close friend, then how the fuck? Or even like a fucking somebody that's introduced by a relative or a close friend, How the fuck you say that to me? Do you go to a restaurant, ask your waiter or waitress when they walk up to your table, hey, you making money doing this? Or a bartender if you go to a bar, hey, you making money doing this? No, bitch. So, leave my fucking business alone, motherfucker. Shit, bruh. Damn. It's like, it doesn't, I seriously want to throw that question back sometimes. I'm just like, hey, so what do you do for a living? You making money doing that? Really? What do you pay for rent? What about utilities? What's in your savings account, bro? it's like fuck, man. It's just so it's so fucking shocking to me that it's okay in their head to ask that question. Now there are people that ask for a specific reason. There are people that ask because they're saying, you know what? Hey, I've been thinking about doing this, but I don't want to I don't want to like stop doing my job right now and then start doing this and find out I'm not making enough. I'm making this much amount here. Is there any possible way that I can make that doing this instead? And I'm just like, fuck. The way I see it, I'm usually just thinking, I'm just like, bitch, well, if you fucking tried it out for maybe a weekend when you're not working and you didn't want to just jump from one job to another immediately, this job kind of fucking lets you dip your toes in the water, bitch. But I usually try to be a little more, I go into a little more in depth with those people because usually they'll share with you what they make first. So they're sharing them. Hey, you know what? I'm coming from here and I want to make sure that I'm at either the same level or doing better. So is there a possibility that I'll be able to do this myself? And then you kind of have to share well, you don't have to, but I like to share my experience and genuinely give them advice. Some people I'm like, you know, you're a lot better off than what you would be getting here, so it's probably not worth it. If you really wanted to, you could do this on the side and see how it works out for you. But realistically, you're probably just better off where you're at. You have whatever it is. There are other people I'm just like, if you worked hard enough, you could make that. But you have to be self-motivated. You have to actually go out and fucking work. But yeah, the people that just fucking ask, just ask. It's like, bitch, go fuck yourself. What the fuck, bitch? I don't know you. You got into my car 3 minutes ago, motherfucker, and you've been providing the worst small talk ever. And you expect me to fucking tell you? You expect me to fucking tell you, motherfucker? Nah, bitch. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, it's just so crazy to me sometimes. Like fucking just thinking about like, oh my gosh, you think this is okay? You really do? Oh my gosh, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for everybody in your life. I feel bad for everybody you meet. Okay, now maybe that's really mean, but but seriously, it's just some people don't. Well, I mean, I guess I guess the main point of this fucking episode is just that people don't have common sense, common decency, common courtesy, whatever the fuck you want to fucking call it. Some people just don't. They don't have whatever the fuck it is in their head to tell them, you know what, this probably not a good idea, or you know what, this is this way because of this, or I shouldn't say this because of that. Fuck, man, it just I don't know. I guess because once you have the skill, it's easy to look at people that don't have a skill and to instantly look down upon them, or to instantly just be like, what? I don't get why you don't know that. But the way I always have to think about it is Think about a kid and tying a shoe. Kid, you're not fucking born learning how to tie a shoe, bitch. Everybody gotta learn. The problem is whether or not you fucking have somebody there to teach you. So, with this, that's why I'm always in this fucking. I'm always in the social dilemma of just like, fuck, I want to tell you this is not okay. I really want to tell you this is not okay, but I need a good rating. Cause if everybody that had small talk that was shitty gave me a bad rating, along with everybody that had fucking the dumbass idea to ask me what the fuck I take home. If I told everybody that, told them, most likely they would give me a bad rating. So if they all gave me a bad rating, then I wouldn't be on the fucking platforms anymore. I wouldn't be able to drive anymore. Because there are that many dumb people out there that say stupid shit like that. I mean, granted, there's some weeks I don't fucking hear that at all, which is great. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. No, I'm just kidding. There aren't 4 weeks. There might be periods of 2-3 days. Because there's always somebody that says something every week. But it'll be a matter of just fuck, man. Should I encourage this behavior or should I not? And most of the time, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna keep it going enough to where I'm not gonna get a bad rating, and I'm not being a total fucking douche. But there's one thing I'm thinking about is I think it was, I don't know, it was recently. It was super late. I'm fucking tired. I've worked 7-8 hours. I'm tired. It's about 3:00 in the morning on a fucking weekend. And this guy gets in the car that I pick up from this cheap fucking budget ass motel, which is okay to stay in, but it's weird as fuck because I'm taking him home from this budget ass motel. He has a fucking duffel bag. It's not like I'm taking him to fucking somewhere else. And I guarantee you this shit was not a fucking Airbnb. Motherfucker. It was not an Airbnb. It was fucking apartments. So this guy had to be doing fucking something. Some weird shit. Or, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was staying there because he needed to be there for you. I don't fucking know. But it was about a 15-20 minute drive. Dude's making shitty small talk. I'm answering him for the every 3 words he says. He says I have about 15. Right? I'm trying to make the conversation for him, but he's not giving anything. So I'm not giving anything. Just like, dude, I'm not gonna push this shit. He was just like, he's the same shit like I said earlier. Just, start your day, you end your day. How long you been doing it? What fuck, blah blah blah. Just driving, bro, and every 5 minutes he asks a question. And then, at the very end, he's just like, "So you don't like talking?" I'm just like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I don't mind it." And then he's like, "Oh, really?" I'm just awkward as fuck. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, I'll have a conversation with passengers if they choose to have one with me, but I don't make it a requirement. But I also don't deny conversations from passengers because some people like to feel comfortable having conversations. I give him this long fucking winded explanation to his bitch ass question. And he's still gonna have attitude with me because I'm not carrying the conversation for him. I'm just like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, bro, you just suck at having conversations. You might be a good listener. I'm not denying that. You might be a great listener. But you fucking horrible at having a conversation. You're horrible at talking, bro. You fucking suck. You suck at talking. But whatever, man. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. People. They're hilarious. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call that for this episode. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm going to get this audio recording together because of the fact that I did cut into two and I'm using voice memo on my computer right now. And that's probably not a good idea because I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this fucking audio out. But anyway, you're definitely gonna be hearing more from me, more from this podcast. Still gotta figure out the name. Obviously before I fucking post it, duh. But definitely been getting way more content because crazy shit like this or dumb shit like this happens weekly, sometimes daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Sometimes I can have fucking 5 pickups and they're just so crazy. I'm just like I gotta take a break. I gotta go home. I gotta get a break. Some people are fucking. It's insane. But anyway, thank you for listening. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you liked the first episode. But yeah, that's it. Peace.